Unit 25, Gateway. Creativity is commonly defined as the production of ideas that are both novel, original, new, and useful, appropriate, feasible. Ideas that are original but not useful are irrelevant, and ideas that are useful but not original are unremarkable. While this definition is widely used in research, an important aspect of creativity is often ignored. Rarely is the final goal. Rather, to successfully solve problems or innovate requires one or a few good ideas that really work, and work better than previous approaches. This requires that people evaluate the products of their own or each other's imagination, and choose those ideas that seem promising enough to develop further, and abandon those that are unlikely to be successful. Thus, being creative does not stop with idea generation. In fact, the ability to generate creative ideas is essentially useless if these ideas subsequently die a silent death. Exercises. Number 1. Conveying values to your children is complicated by the fact that what you think you are teaching them is not always what they are learning from you. This disconnect can occur because your actions may not always be clear to your children. For example, your children may see you working hard in your career and being well rewarded financially for your efforts. You may believe that the message they are getting is that you work hard because of your passion for your work. But they may actually be getting the message that you work hard because money is important to you. Clearly, two very different values would arise depending on how they interpret your messages. This is why you should not only make sure you are living a life that expresses your values, but also periodically ask yourself whether your actions clearly express the values or whether your children could misinterpret them. Also, ask your children what value messages they are getting from you. For example, you can ask them, "Why do you think Daddy or Mommy work so hard?" Number 2. Having a rich store of knowledge in an area is the basis for creativity, but something more is needed. For many problems, that something more is the ability to see things in a new way, restructuring the problem, which leads to a sudden insight. Often this happens when a person has struggled with a problem or project, and then sets it aside for a while. Some psychologists believe that time away allows for incubation, a kind of unconscious working through the problem. Actually, it is more complex than that. Incubation is more helpful when a longer preparation period precedes the individual setting the problem aside. Leaving the problem for a time probably interrupts strict ways of thinking, so you can restructure your view of the situation and think more differently. Creativity requires extensive knowledge, flexibility, and a continual reorganizing of ideas, as well as motivation and persistence. Number 3. Difficulties may arise for students when the beliefs of the home and school differ. When an individual's behavior is interpreted from a cultural perspective that is different from that of the individual in question, misunderstandings and conflict can result. Malcolm and his colleagues described a number of ways in which this can happen for Aboriginal students in mainstream Australian classrooms. In Western Anglo culture, looking people in the eye when you speak to them is a mark of respect and shows you are attending to them. However, in many other cultures, including some Aboriginal and Asian groups, this would be a mark of disrespect, particularly if shown by a younger person to someone in a position of authority. Without this understanding, teachers might assume that students from cultures that do not favor eye contact are not listening or are not interested. Similarly, teachers who insist on eye contact without explaining that it denotes respect in their culture risk some students and parents assuming that those teachers do not want to be respected.